Hello students. Today we are going to learn something about phrases and its types. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of related words within a sentence. It can be found at the beginning, middle or end of a sentence. A phrase may not contain a subject or verb, or in some cases both. So, a phrase may have a meaning, but it does not convey a complete thought. One sentence may contain more than one phrase. Let us look at some examples. Number 1. Big and small shells were scattered here and there on the beach. Number 2. It was a story as old as time. Number 3. You have been sleeping for a long time. In all these examples, the underlined phrases tell us that a phrase depends on other words or phrases to form a meaningful sentence. There are different types of phrases that belong to different parts of a speech. Let us study them one by one. Noun phrase. A noun phrase consists of a noun as the head word and other words, that is, modifiers and determiners, which come after or before the noun. The whole phrase works as a noun in a sentence. For example, she brought a glass full of water. In this example, the underlined phrase is a noun phrase, which is the object of the sentence. A man on the roof was shouting. In the second example, the underlined phrase is a noun phrase, which is the subject of the sentence. Adjective phrase. An adjective phrase is a group of words that function like an adjective in a sentence. It consists of adjectives, modifier, and any word that modifies a noun or pronoun. An adjective phrase functions like an adjective to modify or tell about a noun or pronoun in a sentence. For example, he is wearing a nice red shirt. In this example, the underlined phrase is an adjective phrase which modifies the noun shirt. The girl with brown hair is singing a song. In this example, the underlined phrase is an adjective phrase which modifies the noun girl. Verb phrase. A verb phrase is a combination of main verb and its auxiliaries or helping verbs in a sentence. For example, she has finished her work. She has been sleeping for 2 hours. The underlined phrases in both examples consist of the main verbs as well as their helping verbs. Adverbial phrase. An adverbial phrase functions like an adverb to modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. For example, he always behaves in a good manner. In this example, the underlined phrase is an adverbial phrase which modifies the verb behave. They were shouting in a loud voice. In this example, the underlined phrase is an adverbial phrase which modifies the verb shout. Prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase consists of a preposition, object of preposition, that is noun or pronoun, and may also consist of other modifiers. A prepositional phrase starts with a preposition and mostly ends with a noun or a pronoun. Whatever prepositional phrase ends with is called object of preposition. A prepositional phrase functions as an adjective or adverb in a sentence. For example, the man in the room is our teacher. In this example, the underlined phrase is a prepositional phrase as it starts with a preposition and functions as an adjective defining the noun man. She is shouting in a loud voice. In this example, the underlined phrase is a prepositional phrase as it starts with a preposition and functions as an adverb defining the verb shout. Infinitive phrase. An infinitive phrase consists of an infinitive, that is, to plus simple form of verb and modifiers or other words associated to the infinitive. An infinitive phrase always functions as an adjective, adverb, or a noun in a sentence. For example, he likes to read books. In this example, the underlined phrase is an infinitive phrase which functions as a noun. He shouted to inform people about fire. In this example, the underlined phrase is an infinitive phrase which functions as an adverb modifying the verb shout. He made a plan to buy a car. In this example, the underlined phrase is an infinitive phrase which functions as an adjective modifying the noun plan. Gerund phrase. A gerund phrase consists of a gerund, that is the ing form of a verb, and modifiers or other words associated with the gerund. A gerund phrase acts as a noun in a sentence. For example, Jane likes writing good essays. In this sentence, Jane is the subject who likes writing good essays. Here, like is the action word and writing good essays is the object. So, writing is a verb but acts as noun in terms of sentence structure. Weeping of a baby woke him up. In this sentence, weeping of a baby is the subject which wakes up a person. Here, woke is the action word. So, weeping is a verb but acts as noun in terms of sentence structure. Participle phrase. A participle phrase consists of a present participle, that is the ing form of a verb, a past participle, verbs ending in ed or other forms in case of irregular verbs, and modifiers or other associated words. A participle phrase is separated by commas. It always acts as an adjective in a sentence. For example, the kids making a noise need food. In this sentence, the underlined phrase is a present participle which is modifying or describing the kids. It functions as an adjective as it is describing a noun, which in this case is the kids. The table made of steel is too expensive. In this case, the underlined phrase is a past participle which is modifying or describing the table. It functions as an adjective as it is describing a noun, which in this case is the table. Absolute phrase. Absolute phrase, also called nominative phrase, is a group of words including a noun or a pronoun and a participle as well as any associated modifiers. Absolute phrase modifies or gives information about the entire sentence. It resembles a clause, but it lacks a true finite verb. It is separated by a comma or pairs of commas from the rest of the sentence. For example, he looks sad, his face expressing worry. In this sentence, the underlined phrase is the absolute phrase which has a noun, that is face, along with the modifier which becomes his face. Then there is a present participle, that is expressing. The entire phrase is describing about the main theme of the sentence as how a person is looking sad. It's because worry is evident on his face. The morning dew evaporating, the soccer fields were drying out. In this sentence, the underlined phrase is the absolute phrase which has a noun, that is dew, along with the modifier which becomes the morning dew. Then there is a present participle, that is evaporating. The entire phrase is describing about the main theme of the sentence, that the soccer fields were drying now since the morning dew started to evaporate.
As the saying goes, practice makes us perfect. So, complete this task for perfection. Good luck!